Former Overwatch producer and vice president of Blizzard Entertainment, Chacko Sonny, is now leading development of a brand new first-person shooter game from Netflix's new gaming studio. What's up, everybody? This is Master Ian Gamer, back with another one of these sort of interesting, broader-scale gaming news-related videos, this time focusing specifically on an ex-Overwatch dev, Chacko Sonny, who has recently moved to Netflix, of all places, to lead development of their brand new game development studio. Now, I feel like there's actually a couple interesting stories within this story, namely being the ex-Overwatch devs moving on to do other shinier things now that Overwatch is, Overwatch 2, and also the fact that Netflix is developing video games. There's certainly a fun story in there, but first let's focus on the devs specifically, since I think this is the most interesting and notable aspect of the story. And so to start off, I'd like to read through an article posted by IGN talking about this game studio and specifically Chacko Sonny's involvement. Netflix appears to be developing a AAA PC shooter at its new Los Angeles studio, led by former Overwatch producer and Blizzard vice president, Chacko Sonny. As reported by mobilegamer.biz, the aptly named Netflix game studio is looking for a game director with experience in shooters to work on a brand new AAA PC game. Akin to Overwatch, it will seemingly be a live service game as Netflix asks for extensive experience in this department. In a similar vein, the candidate must have a deep understanding of highly engaging content and how to deliver it, and be deeply passionate about social systems and gameplay, both cooperative and competitive. Netflix's VP of Gaming then went on to comment on Chacko Sonny, saying that he could have done anything, but he chose to come here. You don't get people like that coming to your organization to build the next big thing in gaming unless there's a sense that we're really in it for the long haul and in it for the right reasons. The article then goes on to talk a little bit about Netflix's big ambitions for entering the gaming sphere, but I think I've covered the important details to focus on, and what I'd like to touch on now is the idea of these Overwatch developers, Chacko Sonny being only one of many talented developers within the gaming industry who formerly worked at Blizzard and worked on Overwatch specifically, before moving on to bigger and brighter things, perhaps, or at the very least, just different projects outside of Activision Blizzard. Now, over the past few years, we've seen quite a few Overwatch developers and producers leave the company to move on to other projects. Big names from the Overwatch dev team like Jeff Goodman, Arnold Sang, Michael Chu, Chacko Sonny, and of course, Jeff Kaplan himself, have all moved on from the company and either retired, presumably, or begun work with other studios and developers to work on different gaming projects. Heck, even Blizzard's former president and co-founder, Mike Morhaime, moved on from Blizzard a few years ago to start his own new game development company, Dreamhaven, which has almost become a sort of bastion for ex-Blizzard employees to move over to continue developing games free of the sort of Activision influence, we could say. And with many of these departing developers being pretty talented individuals in their specific fields, I think it's quite interesting to see a company like Netflix snatch up someone like Chacko Sonny to lead development on its own brand new startup gaming department. Which, speaking of, yeah, Netflix is working on developing video games. I know that this is something that the public has known Netflix is working on for a while at this point. As of yet, we haven't seen anything really come out of the Netflix gaming department, since it is still fairly new, and of course game development takes quite a long time. But at the very least, I'm interested in seeing what Netflix can come up with in this regard. Admittedly, I do get some pretty heavy Google Stadia type vibes off of this, which is to say a giant company which historically has had nothing to do with developing video games suddenly decides that it wants to get its foot into the gaming sphere but has no idea what it's doing and ends up crashing and burning horribly because of it. However, perhaps Netflix's gaming studio will end up being a bit of an exception in this regard, since clearly they are focusing on bringing on experienced and talented people from the gaming industry itself. So for all we know, a few years from now, we might be seeing an Overwatch competitor coming from Netflix themselves, courtesy of Overwatch's own original developers. Admittedly, that is just speculation. We don't know basically anything about the project Netflix is currently working on that Chacko Sonny is leading, other than that it seems to be some sort of FPS-focused PC video game, but it will be interesting going forward to see what sort of projects come out of not only Netflix, but also all these other Overwatch devs who've since left Blizzard. Something which I think a lot of people don't particularly particularly appreciate, especially nowadays, is just how talented a lot of the OG Overwatch developers really were. Regardless of whatever issues they might have had with game balance and things like that, the developers for Overwatch 1 were really talented and really passionate about the project they were working on. And so the fact that Blizzard has lost so many of those people at this point is admittedly pretty concerning, and if I had to hazard a guess, would at least partially be responsible for the state of Overwatch 2 as it is currently. So admittedly, I am always interested when we see one of these ex-devs pop up at a different company or doing their own sort of side project, because even if they're not working for Blizzard or working on Overwatch anymore, I do wish them the best of luck in their future endeavors, as I certainly appreciate the work they did contribute to Overwatch in the past. And so in the case of Chacko Sonny working at Netflix now on their upcoming mystery video game, I wish him the best of luck, and I'm eager to see what ends up coming from it. Even if realistically there's a pretty high chance that the whole project and department gets scrapped a couple years down the line, because that's just how this goes, I'll be keeping a close eye on this story and seeing how it develops over the months and years ahead, and who knows, maybe there will be a genuine Overwatch competitor coming out of Netflix a few years down the line. Either way though, thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts on all this. Do you have high hopes for Netflix potentially making an Overwatch competitor game? And how do you think them recruiting ex-Overwatch developers might end up playing a hand in that? Either way, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, hit up that bell icon, and come join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch content. Special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible, and if you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. Otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.